Pep Guardiola's false nine. Barcelona 2009. Pep Guardiola had a problem. Samuel Eto'o was brilliant, but something wasn't clicking. So Pep did something that made everyone think he'd lost his mind. He moved Lionel Messi from the wing to play as a false nine. Not a traditional striker. Not a winger. Something in between that didn't really exist yet. The idea was simple, but revolutionary. Messi would drop deep, dragging centre-backs with him. This created massive gaps for Xavi and Iniesta to exploit. When defenders stayed back, Messi had space to work his magic. The result? Barcelona destroyed everyone. They won the treble that season, playing the most beautiful football the world had ever seen. Real Madrid's defenders looked like they were chasing ghosts. Other teams tried to copy it. Most failed miserably. Turns out you need a player like Messi to make it work. Who knew? But the false nine changed football forever. It proved that positions were just suggestions, not rules. Jose Mourinho's bus parking. Inter Milan, 2010. Jose Mourinho faced Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final. Everyone expected him to try and outplay them. Instead, he did the opposite. Mourinho parked the biggest bus in football history. 10 men behind the ball. Defend, defend, defend. Then hit them on the counter. It was ugly, it was cynical. It was absolutely brilliant. Barcelona had 70% possession and couldn't break through. Inter won 3-1 on aggregate and went on to win the Champions League. Mourinho had proven that sometimes the best way to beat beautiful football is to make it as ugly as possible. The football purists were furious, but Mourinho didn't care. He had his winner's medal and a smug grin that could be seen from space. This approach influenced defensive tactics for years. Every underdog team now had a blueprint for beating superior opponents. Just ask Leicester City. Jurgen Klopp's gegenpressing. Borussia Dortmund 2010. Jurgen Klopp looked at his squad and realised something. They weren't the most talented team in Germany, but they could run harder than anyone else. So he invented gegenpressing. The moment they lost the ball, every player would sprint to win it back within 6 seconds. No jogging, no walking, pure chaos. It was like watching 11 caffeinated teenagers chase a ball around. Opponents couldn't handle the intensity. They'd make mistakes under pressure, and Dortmund would pounce. Dortmund won back-to-back Bundesliga titles, beating Bayern Munich's expensive squad with pure energy and organisation. They reached a Champions League final playing this way. The best part, when players got tired, Klopp would just shout louder from the sideline. Somehow this actually worked. Klopp later took this system to Liverpool and won everything. Turns out running really hard is a legitimate tactical approach. Antonio Conte's 3-5-2. Chelsea 2016. Antonio Conte's team was struggling. They'd lost 3-0 to Arsenal and looked completely lost. Something had to change. Conte switched to a 3-5-2 formation that nobody in the Premier League was using. 3 centre-backs, wing-backs, bombing forward, and 2 strikers up front. English football had no idea how to handle it. Teams were still playing 4-4-2 and getting torn apart by Chelsea's wing-backs. Marcos Alonso and Victor Moses suddenly looked like world beaters. Chelsea went on an incredible winning streak and won the Premier League. Other teams scrambled to copy the formation, but most looked like they were playing it for the first time. Which they were. The 3-5-2 became the trendy formation overnight. Every FIFA player started using it. Conte had accidentally started a tactical revolution by simply trying something different. Arsene Wenger's highline. Arsenal, 1996. Arsene Wenger arrived in England and immediately confused everyone. He made his defenders play 30 yards higher up the pitch than anyone else. English football was used to deep defensive lines and long balls. Wenger's highline looked suicidal. Surely fast strikers would just run in behind. But Wenger had thought of everything. His defenders were quick and intelligent. They played the offside trap perfectly. And when they won the ball high up the pitch, they were already in attacking positions. Arsenal's football became poetry in motion. They could score from anywhere because they were always so high up the field. The invincible season was built on this foundation. Of course, when the high line went wrong, it went spectacularly wrong. Arsenal would sometimes concede goals that looked like FIFA glitches, but the good far outweighed the bad. Modern football's obsession with playing out from the back started here. Thanks, Arsene. Sir Alex Ferguson's Fergie time. Manchester United, 1990s to 2000s. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't invent a formation or a pressing system. He invented something much more powerful: psychological warfare. Ferguson convinced everyone, including referees, that Manchester United deserved extra time to score. Not just the allocated stoppage time, Fergie time. It became a self-fulfilling prophecy. United players believed they could score in the 94th minute. Opponents feared they would. Referees seemed to add extra seconds when United needed them. The statistics back it up. United scored more late goals than any other team during Ferguson's era. Some called it luck. Ferguson called it mentality. The 1999 Champions League final was the perfect example. 2 goals in injury time to beat Bayern Munich. Pure Fergie time magic. Other managers tried to copy this psychological approach. Most just looked desperate shouting at the fourth official. Ferguson made it an art form. Marcelo Bielsa's man marking. Leeds United 2018. Marcelo Bielsa arrived in the championship with a reputation for being completely insane. His first tactical innovation proved this was accurate. Bielsa made his players man-mark opponents all over the pitch. Not just in defence, everywhere. His midfielder would follow the opposing midfielder to the toilet if necessary. It looked chaotic. Players were running all over the place, like a Sunday league match. But there was method to the madness. Opponents couldn't find space anywhere. They'd receive the ball and immediately have a Leeds player breathing down their neck. It was exhausting to play against. Leeds got promoted playing this way. Championship defenders had never experienced anything like it. They'd try to pass out from the back and find 3 Leeds players surrounding them. The system required incredible fitness levels. Bielsa's training sessions became legendary for their intensity. Players either adapted or collapsed. Carlo Ancelotti's Christmas tree. AC Milan 2003. Carlo Ancelotti had too many talented midfielders and not enough positions. So he created the Christmas tree formation. 4-3-2-1. It looked exactly like a Christmas tree on the tactical board. 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, 2 attacking midfielders, and 1 striker. Festive and effective. This allowed Milan to play Kaká, Rui Costa, Seedorf, Gattuso, and Pirlo, all in the same team. It shouldn't have worked. There were too many cooks in the kitchen, but Ancelotti made it work by giving each player specific roles. Pirlo sat deep and sprayed passes. Gattuso ran around breaking up play. Kaká floated between the lines causing chaos. Milan won the Champions League playing this way. They had so much quality in midfield that opponents couldn't cope. It was like playing against a team of magicians. The formation died out when Milan's golden generation retired. Turns out you need world-class players to make complicated systems work. Revolutionary stuff. Pep Guardiola's inverted fullbacks, Manchester City 2017. Pep Guardiola looked at his fullbacks and decided they were in the wrong position. So he moved them into midfield. Kyle Walker and João Cancelo would start wide but drift inside when City had the ball. This created numerical superiority in midfield and confused the hell out of everyone. Opponents didn't know whether to press the fullbacks or leave them. If they pressed, City had overloads elsewhere. If they didn't, the fullbacks had time and space to create. City's possession stats went through the roof. They keep the ball for minutes at a time, slowly driving opponents insane with their patient passing. The system required fullbacks with the technical ability of midfielders. Luckily, Pep had spent £100 million making sure he had them. Every team now wants fullbacks who can play in midfield. The transfer market for traditional defenders has collapsed. Thanks, Pep. Diego Simeone's Atletico block. Atletico Madrid, 2011. Diego Simeone inherited a team that couldn't defend and couldn't attack, so he focused on the defending part and forgot about the rest. Simeone created the most organised defensive block in football history. 2 banks of 4 that moved as one unit. No gaps, no mistakes, no mercy. Atletico would sit deep and wait for opponents to make mistakes. Then they'd hit them on the counter with brutal efficiency. It was like watching a defensive masterclass every week. They reached 2 Champions League finals playing this way. Real Madrid and Barcelona, with all their attacking talent, couldn't break them down. Sometimes the best defence really is a good defence. Simeone's players would run through walls for him. The intensity was infectious. Opponents knew they were in for a battle before they even kicked off. The style wasn't pretty, but it was effective. Atletico proved that you don't need to play beautiful football to be successful. You just need to be really, really good at stopping the other team. Jurgen Klopp's heavy metal football, Liverpool, 2015. Jurgen Klopp arrived at Anfield promising heavy metal football. Nobody knew what this meant. It sounded painful. Klopp's system was simple. Press high, win the ball back quickly, and attack with maximum intensity. No tippy-tappy pass, just pure, aggressive football. Liverpool's front three became a nightmare for defenders. Salah, Mane and Firmino would press from the front, forcing mistakes and creating chances out of nothing. The system required incredible fitness levels and perfect timing. When it worked, Liverpool looked unstoppable. When it didn't, they looked like they were playing with 10 men. Liverpool won the Champions League and Premier League playing this way. They proved that sometimes the best tactic is to simply outwork your opponents. The heavy metal approach influenced teams worldwide. Everyone wanted their own version of Klopp's intensity. Most just looked tired. Thomas Tuchel's back three revolution. Chelsea 2021. Thomas Tuchel inherited a mess at Chelsea. The team was leaking goals and looked completely disorganised. His solution was beautifully simple. Tuchel switched to a back three with wing-backs. Suddenly, Chelsea's defence became impenetrable. They went from conceding goals for fun to keeping clean sheets every week. The system gave Chelsea numerical superiority in defence, while allowing their wing-backs to bomb forward in attack. It was the perfect balance of security and adventure. Chelsea won the Champions League within months of Tuchel's arrival. They beat Manchester City in the final using the same defensive system that had transformed their season. The back three became fashionable again overnight. Every struggling team tried it. Most discovered that changing formation doesn't automatically fix your problems. Who would have thought? Roberto Martinez's Belgium revolution. Belgium 2016. Roberto Martinez inherited a golden generation, but they were underperforming. The problem wasn't talent, it was tactics. Martinez switched Belgium to a 3-4-3 formation that maximised their strengths. Kevin De Bruyne could roam freely. Eden Hazard had space to dribble. Romelu Lukaku got better service. The system turned Belgium into a tournament powerhouse. They reached the World Cup semi-final in 2018 and became the #1 ranked team in the world. Martinez proved that sometimes the best tactical tweak is simply putting your best players in their best positions. Groundbreaking stuff. Belgium's success inspired other national teams to experiment with back threes. The formation became the go-to choice for international tournaments. Zinedine Zidane's rotation policy. Real Madrid, 2016. Zinedine Zidane faced a problem that most managers would love to have. Too many world-class players and not enough positions. Instead of picking a fixed starting 11, Zidane rotated constantly. Different players for different opponents. Fresh legs for every match. It kept everyone happy and everyone sharp. Players couldn't complain about being dropped because they knew their chance would come. The squad stayed motivated all season. Real Madrid won 3 Champions League titles in a row using this approach. The depth and rotation policy meant they were always fresh for the big moments. Other clubs tried to copy Zidane's rotation, but most just confused their players. Turns out you need a squad full of superstars to make constant changes work. These tactical tweaks didn't just change games, they changed football forever. Each innovation forced opponents to adapt, creating an endless cycle of tactical evolution. The beautiful game keeps evolving because managers keep thinking outside the box. Sometimes literally. In the case of formations, which managerial tweak do you think was the most revolutionary or easiest to implement? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed learning about football tactical innovations, hit subscribe for more Football Explainer videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.